Today, we're taking you along with us on a 4-day road trip back home to Cleveland, Ohio. We're going to share some of our best road trip tips as we take a scenic drive through Moab, hike in 4 different states, and oh wait, the best part is we're spending our first night in an RV. So stick around, it's going to be a wild ride. Right, get it? Road trip.
So today's day one of our road trip. We just left Phoenix and we're gonna hike in Flagstaff with you to stretch the legs. We're gonna do a scenic drive through Moab today, day one, and then we're having dinner at a place called Taco Party before we spend the night in Grand Junction, Colorado.
Taco Party sounds right up our alley.
All right, along our 4-day trip, to keep ourselves entertained, we're playing 2 road trip games. The first is the license plate game, classic. But to spice it up, as we prepare for RV life, we are going to count how many RV parks we see in our drive from, what states are we going through?
Leaving Arizona, through Utah, Colorado, Nebraska, Iowa,
Illinois,
Indiana, and then home in Ohio. So comment below on how many RV parks you think we can spot between here and Ohio.
You think we'll see more states, or do you think we'll see more RV parks? So far, it's 2-2. All right, so our first road trip tip is to get the maintenance on the car before you go. What kind of maintenance do we have done?
We got brand new tires, probably a little early than they needed, but we wanted to make sure that they were good to go because we're putting thousands of miles on our car on this trip. So preventative is the way to go.
What's your favorite part of road tripping?
Views, the hikes, checking out new places.
Yeah, those are good.
Snacks.
Yeah. I love just being in the car with my fam. It's just fun. Of course, this is day 1 of 4, but it's still my favorite part usually.
2 hours in, 30 to go.
I think it's the perfect time to bring up our tip number 2. What's tip number 2?
Tip number 2, download your music, your audiobooks, anything that you want to listen to your phone. Because we're going to be going through lots of mountains, as you know, music service.
Yeah, so I downloaded our complete thumbs up playlist from Pandora, which is typically what we listen to on road trips, and a book that we're really excited to bring to you and hope it improves the content we're making for you, which is The YouTube Formula by Daryl Eves. So how was the hike?
Beautiful.
It was shorter than we wanted. It was a 2.5 mile loop, and these guys made it 0.6.
Oh.
All right, who's ready for tip number 3?
Take the scenic route. Don't be afraid to make extra stops, go to special places along the way.
So even like right now, we're approaching Moab, and we're gonna do a scenic drive through Moab and go through the park. It adds about 40 minutes of drive time for us, but it's brought us so much excitement for the last however many hours we've been driving. We've been looking forward to it all day.
We're going to take the 128 from Moab up to Cisco, and then it'll get us right back on track. So
Yeah, and it just gives us an opportunity to stop, get out, stretch our legs. Hopefully there'll be some great cool-offs, and but it brings us to kind of a nickname we give to each other when we need a little pep talk or something's bringing us down, you know, like oftentimes we're always in such a hurry to like get somewhere, so we always call each other journeymen.
Which just really means like focus on the journey, right? Whether it's the drive today or really anything in life. Like sometimes you get so caught up in the race of the destination, which is where a lot of people kind of take the fun out of a road trip.
Right, just trying to get there. I gotta get there. Okay, let's get on the road.
And so really just enjoying each day, each moment. Like the destination will be fun, the journey's got to be fun because this is what we're doing all day.
This is our life, right? Exactly. RV park. How many are we up to? But really, you know, this is our whole day. This is what we're doing today. We're driving to Grand Junction, Colorado, and we can take the scenic route and enjoy it. We've had a million stops so far, it feels like. Or we could be cranky and race to get there. So,
but we've learned, like, because we did this probably like 5 years ago. We just one stop, get there. You get there and you're cranky, and you're like, okay, I'm here, but I'm tired. Everything hurts. I didn't get out. So it just makes the whole day better.
yeah, be journeyman. Take the scenic route.
Enjoy. Imagine if that was your backyard.
It really no, but that's the idea of our RV life, right? Like as we travel the country, if we can go to some place, not across it in 4 days, all of this gets to be our backyard. It's definitely one of the things I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, you switch your backyard every probably 10 to 14 days.
Journeyman.
Day two, we just left Grand Junction, Colorado, and we're heading to, next stop is Gibbon, Nebraska.
That's where we're sleeping tonight. Where are we stopping before that?
A hike just outside of Denver, so about 3 hours into our trip,
Yeah.
and the Rockies.
Yep. And then we'll drive through Denver today, and then about 2 hours before we get to Gibbon, Nebraska, we're stopping at a local brewery called Driftwood, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But what's nearby Driftwood?
There's some like lake state park, so we're gonna go have lunch there, get the dogs out, maybe swim again.
We'll take dinner we'll pick up our dinner, we'll take it to the park, and then we'll have a little picnic and walk the dogs. So that way when we're rolling into Gibbon, which I don't think there's much in Gibbon, we'll be pretty tired.
I think we're staying on a farm.
I think we are too. So we'll get to just, wander around, get everybody's legs stretched, and then shouldn't be too hungry, maybe a snack, but then we'll, call it a night.
So how'd we do yesterday on the license plates versus RV parks?
So we got 21 states, which is surprisingly low for our first day trip, but it was all single lane highways, and we got 26 RV parks. We're already up to 27. We got one this morning.
Tip number 4 is packing your lunch and your snacks. That way when you're hungry, you know you're hungry. So you can eat whenever, wherever, and you have what you like.
And you don't have to worry about, okay, now we're hungry, what's available, and ending up just getting fast food because that's what's convenient. Let's be real, that's what we'd do if we didn't pack. So this way you at least have a little control over what you're picking to eat.
Yeah, you're not waiting on to find it once you're hungry and then maybe potentially getting hangry. Gotta always avoid hangry. Especially on a road trip.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out. Die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Let's go, let's be free with me.
Tip number 5 is plan a time in your day to move your body. We just got done with the most beautiful hike. It was so much fun. We were able to go 1.62 miles a day. A little bit further.
It's a lot cooler in the mountains of Colorado.
Yeah, it was about 74 degrees, beautiful, mostly shaded.
Well, it's not only good for your body, but just being out in that fresh mountain air. I mean, you can see how beautiful it is, but smelling that fresh mountain air just absolutely boosted everybody's mood for sure. It just adds to.
Plus, Denver wasn't a place that we could stop based on our travel, but being able to hike these beautiful Rocky Mountains and being able to see it, get up in there.
Tip number 6, eat before you get to your destination. We stopped off for a nice meal at the restaurant called Driftwood here in Ogalla, Nebraska. And now we're sitting at the park. The dogs are hanging out in the shade and in the grass. Everybody's stretching their legs, getting a full belly before we have those last 2 hours on the road. Because last night when we got to our destination, we were tired. Luckily, we had dinner in hand.
It's Saturday morning and we were supposed to be hitting the road right about now, but there's a pretty intense thunderstorm that we gotta wait out. So time zone, we didn't lose any time today, but we just lost 90 minutes from schedule, but that's okay.
But that brings us to tip number 7. You've got to stay flexible, right? Like, we've got this great itinerary, but you wake up to 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts, shaking the house. Maybe you don't load the car, you wait that one out like we did, but you know, it's just the way it goes sometimes. But having the mindset that you know you're gonna have to pivot, you know you're gonna have obstacles, it just helps everybody not freak out and stay loose and just go with the flow, because it could have been a very stressful morning. It's wet, it's muddy, it's rainy.
Glad it's day 3, man. One more day till we're home and can shower.
Yeah. Which actually, a 2-for-1, tip number 8. Go ahead, take it away. What do we got here?
Oh man, packed towels. We have used these towels. We washed them at our first Airbnb to reuse them from that beach day.
Yeah.
We needed them this morning. We're gonna need them at this walk.
Oh,
like
yeah.
having towels, paper towels.
Yeah.
Kind of obvious, but don't forget them.
Absolutely. So it's the start of day 3. We're heading out of Gibbon, Nebraska. It's pretty rainy, but tonight is the night we have been waiting for.
We're sleeping in an RV.
Exactly.
Are you ready?
Yeah, today's the day. So tonight's our very first night ever sleeping in an RV. It's a Class A motorhome. It's somewhere in Indiana. Joliet, Indiana. So we'll be hiking in about 2 hours somewhere in the middle of Nebraska. There's a lake we found. We're gonna do a trail as long as the rain. We are following the rain. That was one of the reasons we waited so long this morning. The rain's moving the same direction we are, so we tried to give it a head start, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, updates. States, they're catching up. So we are at 39 states and 37 RV parks. So Today's the start of day 3. It's a close matchup. States are only going to get harder and harder to get, right? There's only 11 left, Hawaii being one of them. We did get Alaska, though, so that's a big deal.
Yeah, at the trailhead.
Yes, we did.
In Colorado.
So the good news is that most of the states we're missing are from the East Coast, which is, we're headed that direction. We're not going quite that far, but we're headed that direction. All right, so stay tuned, stick around and see what today brings.
All right, so it was still raining at the hike that we had picked in Omaha. So we picked a new hike closer to Davenport. About 1,650 miles into the trip so far. We got about 120 to go for the day.
Until we get to that first RV. You excited?
Yeah.
What are you most excited about?
Just to be inside of it. Scope it out. See what it feels like.
Yeah. You think it'll feel small or cramped?
Yeah, because we have a lot of stuff with there. And our stuff won't all be put away. It'll be different like if we were living in one, but yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm excited to see what it feels like for the 4 of us to be in that size space for sure. Especially after being in this small car all day together. Wait, how many miles did you say? 16?
1,650.
Okay. Well, I think that brings us a perfect time for tip number 9. Always keep a trash bag handy. You'd be shocked how much trash you produce. Just water bottles and sucker sticks, things like that.
Snack wrappers.
Yeah.
But a clean car keeps everybody stress-free.
Yes.
Feeling good. Feel better. So keep it tidied up.
Yes. And that way every time we stop for gas or whatever, maybe dump it out or toss it depending on what you've thrown in there. There's a V8 in there now, so we're tossing it.
Here it is. There's our kitchenette. If we wanted to cook, we could. We won't. We got the fridge. Oh, you got push. Got some waters. Here's our bathroom. King size bed, another TV. Whoa, the hangers in the closet are shaking. Thermostat. Bathroom. Skylight. It's pretty fancy. That's the inside, folks.
Alright, so we just spent our first night in the RV. It was just yucky. Not because it was an RV, but because it was dirty. But we did learn some things. The space did not feel small, which actually was the one thing I was worried about. So that was good to know. And also the way those steps are, I'll show you guys. But having to reach forward down those 2 steps to reach the door, I would rip my back out if I had to live like that. So when we purchase our RV, it cannot have little down steps inside the RV like that. I already know. So at least we learned something. But when I mean yucky, I mean like this guy didn't even have a sheet on the bed. It was an old crusty grandma blanket and then just the fitted sheet. It So we took that crusty grandma blanket off. We had our own blanket in the car, so it was much like camping. So what I think we've been reminded of, which we knew with this trip, is we love to travel, we love to explore new places. We don't like to just stay anywhere and sleep anywhere and living out of bags. We love to have our home. We're homebodies, but love to travel. So that's why the RV life has appealed to us. So we can take her home, the pups can have their home. Space. And that way we can all have our space and our stuff, but be able to see the country. All right, good morning. It is day 4. We just left the RV on the freeway. We are headed back home to Cleveland, Ohio today. So not home Phoenix, but home, which I'm excited to be in our home. It's been a long time.
Yeah, 7 months.
Yeah. And I'm excited to see how the pups react. I think they'll be excited to have their grass yard and their doggy door, and just to be home. I think they're gonna go nuts. So I'm excited to see that. But this morning, after our long night in the RV and hitting the road, this 4th day on the road, seems like it's time for our 10th and final tip. So tip number 10, know before you go.
Plan ahead, know your route, know what to expect, and have a good idea and just mentally prepare, because traveling can be mentally exhausting, especially when you have such long days.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we had a lot of fun. We saw so many beautiful things, a lot of corn. Literally just 3 states of corn. Oh my gosh, talk about monocropping. We had such a good time, but sitting in this car all day, being on the road all day, trying to do what's going to be like 2,400 miles in 4 days, it's a lot. So be mentally prepared for that. We packed morale boosters, we took lots of stops, we did our best to stay hydrated. We made the best of it, that's for sure.
Also know what your limits are, and how far you can drive. Don't overextend yourself. Our travel days will be much shorter when towing, right? So know what your travel days are, just so you don't overextend yourself and then end up being exhausted and taking fun out of it.
And I think this trip too ensured, we think as RVers that we will be people who move every 2 to 3 weeks probably. And I think this confirmed it, because everywhere we went, there were so many things we wanted to do, see, hike, and we're also homebodies. We also like downtime and to cook and meal prep. So I think that slow and steady, when we have the RV and we have to go from Phoenix to Ohio, which will happen for sure, I think that'll be a 3-month, not a 4-day trip.
For sure. And there's so much to see. You want to be able to, you don't know how often you're going to go back to a certain area, so being able to scope it all out, do the hikes.
But overall, yeah, I think that goes back into being journeyman, live in the moment, and give yourself the time to do that. And we did a great job of being in the moment. That's why you play those car games when you have to spend so many hours in the car, which, by the way, we are up to 42 states, which is pretty impressive if you ask me.
It's our highest ever on any road trip.
Yeah, it is. So
Hawaii, we're looking for you.
yeah. Hawaii and everything else is still East Coast, so there's a chance. If we hit 49, I'm saying to beat RVs, even though I think RVs have slightly pulled ahead RV parks. Alright, well, we're going to continue to show you the scenery. We'll catch up with you when we get to Cleveland. But that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed our 10 road trip tips to help make your road trip better next time.
Thanks for watching. Oh my gosh, I just saw a Brinkley on the road. I was looking for it the whole time. And I knew, I was like, okay, we're approaching Elkhart. On our left, them hitting the freeway for delivery. That's gonna be our shot. And I saw one. It looked good.
Less than a mile from home. And I have a feeling that these dogs are about to know when we get off this exit. What do you think, bud? Is this where you think it is? We should also note that Miley got car sick about 20 minutes ago and vomited everywhere.
Was a fun finish.
Yeah. Right into the home stretch.
My heart's racing.
I know. I know. The anticipation's like high.
Woo. It is high.
Looks like home. Hi. Where